Hello and welcome to my channel History and Guys. Today I want to talk about what I've done in the last couple of weeks, what I've bought, what I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks as well, and talk a little bit about the books that I'm reading at the moment. So let's start with the first part. What have I done in the last couple of weeks? Well, I was rather productive, I have to admit, and the first thing that I managed to finish my Numidian horsemen. This is a full batch of Numidian horsemen. I will add some more pictures to be shown at the end of the video, so you can see them in a slightly better photograph. As you can see, they are already based, but I wouldn't call them finished. So if you see it, they have some mixture already put on top of the base, but it's not super clean, unfortunately. And I also do want to add some other color, so probably some kind of grass or something like that. And the other problem that I will have actually is like if I ever want to make more units for this army that I haven't prepared already, I will have to figure out what paint I use for the basing actually, because this is a mix of coffee ground, old coffee ground, some kind of soil, but it's this soil that you can get at the garden market, where it has like cocoa nut fibers and stuff like that in there, which is why sometimes there are a couple of fibers and similar stuff stuck in there. And then I used eggshells. Now, I would never use eggshells again as basing materials because it's just a huge mess and it's definitely not worth the effort. If you want to add some smaller white speckles in there, just throw some stones or anything else but eggshells, really, believe me. I'm really happy how they came out, and I've had the horses painted already for 2 years, I think, and then the whole Casago project completely came to a screeching halt until now. And I will show you what I mean by screeching halt. I have like this whole box of infantry now and some painted horses for my heavy cavalry in this box, and they've been there for, yeah, like I said, 2 years. But I hope I can get finally around painting them, well, next year probably, because this year I'm busy enough. The second project that I finished, and this is basically multiple pieces. First of all, it's this lines of mechs. It's a bit chaotic right now, but I will also add some further pictures after the video so you can see them in a slightly better lit environment. And additionally I make some buildings actually, and they are coming from two different sources. The first source is this mech hanger that I got like 20 years ago or something like that, when I first played Battletech. And this is resin. It's really massive, really chunky. If you throw it after somebody, he will not like it. And it comes with this slidable door, which is really nice when you like want to do some posing shots, for example, for your miniatures. And yeah, came out quite nice, I think. I need to hide my face. And as you can see, I use some zinc paint and some pigments, and yeah, I think it's okay as a background model and for playing. And the other two buildings I have here, these are 3D printed from Thunderhack Studios. Well, the design is from Thunderhack Studios, the print is by Clubmate. And I just added some color accents to it to make them look a little bit nicer. This is the other building. And I really like the print. I think that generally in terms of scale, when you compare this with a mech, it's like, I mean, it works really nice when you put it in front of it. Yeah, I will show you some shots of that later as well. But for gaming, I think the hanger is a little bit too large. Whereas these buildings, the designs come in very different sizes, from rather smallish, like these ones. These are kind of the smallest proper buildings that they have, two really huge ones. I have a huge airport building which is like, I don't know, 20 centimeters long, almost as large as a big place for an FDM printer, really. And I think they work really nicely because they are designed, at least most of them are designed in a way that have gaming in mind as well. So they are like about either full height of a battle mech more or less, or half height, and that's important for the gameplay, really. So this is really nice, and I mean, I didn't put too much effort into them, but I think the effort is adequate for what they are, which is basically challenge for playing and for testing as well. So yeah, that's what I've done in the last 6 weeks, I think. 4 to 6 weeks. I can't remember really when I started working on the Horseman. And now we will have a look at what I'm going to do next, actually. So I've slightly rearranged all the little plaques that I have here for showing you what I'm doing. And the first project, and that has some background story that I will explain in a moment, are these two elephants by Bricks. As you can see, they have the same basing material. The bases themselves I actually cut out from some plastic sheet, I believe it is, or something else. I can't remember really what it's called. And at the club we have Pile of Shame challenge running right now, and basically everybody in the club could vote for everybody else's projects that he proposed, and everybody proposed 4 projects to pick from. And my clubmates thought it would be the best if I just start painting those elephants. And as you can see with this one here, I've already started. I've tried to do the skin. I'm not entirely happy yet with it, so I will do something about that and explain you as well what I want to do. And the red is, you might have recognized it from the Numidians. It's a color that I use to create a coherency between my whole Carthaginian army. And it looks slightly different because the horsemen obviously are already varnished, and then they get a little bit darker. But this will look pretty similar, really. But my problem right now was with the paints I had. Some of my paints are pretty old and very thinned down, so they don't really work anymore. I had the problem that I didn't really like the way the elephants came out, so I bought some new paints, but I will get to that later. Now the next project that I'm working on right now is for the online plastic challenge. Online painting challenge, not plastic challenge, sorry. And these are 12 battle mechs from the 2 Comstar boxes that are available right now. And as you can see, I've already put some base coat on it, or rather some primer, and then dry brushed over it 2 times with basically slapshot method, as I call it, or grisaille. And now I have to really get into the proper painting here. And this is actually going to be probably my first project for painting. Now, painting is only part of my projects right now because I'm working on terrain. I've finished upgrading some modeling tree from modeling railways, and I will show it to you for a moment. This is a tree, and you can see, no you can't because it's my fat fingers here. You can see here the base of the tree. So I use the washer disc to give it some stability, and then put some tile grout and soil on top of it, and added some grass flock as well. One thing I forgot to mention before is that I also work on Carthaginian heavy infantry. So basically for Saga they would be troops from the city, half guard, and I have like 8 miniatures pinned up like this. You might wonder what this is. It's basically 2 Jenga blocks glued together and then cut in half. I really like this arrangement because either I have a pin in there or I have a washer to attach some magnetic stuff on it. And the wood is really nice because it doesn't get sweaty at all. Even when you're having long painting hours, if you hold it like this, it doesn't matter really because the wood grain just absorbs all the sweatiness from your fingers. And that's very pleasant when you paint in summer. And also they're heavy enough so they don't fall over immediately. With really heavy miniatures it's a little bit different, but for most of the stuff it's absolutely sufficient. So yeah, that's what I want to do in the next 6 weeks, I guess, until Christmas, until New Year. I'm not sure I will manage to do everything, but we'll see how far we can get. What I'm not showing you right now is, like I said before, I want to build some gaming terrain. I have almost finished some kind of scatter or modular plaques to put on the trees, for example, and similar stuff. But I also want to build a proper board. I will show that to you probably in the next video, I hope. Next, I want to talk about some acquisitions I made. The first one is guys, actually, and lots of guys. I have a whole bag of guys here. And the background story is that at the club, one of our guys organized an order from, I think they come from China. And they're custom made because they, instead of the 6, they have the symbol of our club there. They give them focus, wonderful. And yeah, I got them in green, in orange, and in blue. I'll show it to you one moment, like this. We also had some other colors I think available, but I think this is enough. And one idea I have, and I think I'm not the only person in the club who has this idea, is if I ever go on some meetings or on tournaments or something like that, they're a really nice way of giving a little gift to your opponent before or after the match, depending on whether you are either an optimist or a pessimist and think the game might go well or not so well. And they weren't super expensive really. I mean, obviously within the club we had a lot of people buying guys, so we could get a better price per unit. But it was fairly affordable. I think I paid like 40 cents per guys or something like that. So it's really not an issue if you give some of them away. Yeah, next thing that I got is, or are these 2 miniature boxes from V&V. It's basically a very similar content. The box is just much bigger than this one. And those are 2 Pagan Ruse packages, 4 miniatures each from V&V miniatures from Ukraine. And I bought them to supplement my Pagan Ruse army for Saga. I want to use them as scouts, so as mercenaries, which means that they will also get a slightly different paint scheme than the rest of my army. But I think this is already a project for next year. The next thing I got is, I got a couple of paints. I will show you just this one as an example, the new Vallejo game color. I didn't buy Vallejo game color yet in the new formulation. I only have the, not the speed paint, what is it called? Express paints. I didn't buy the normal basic ones yet. So I'm curious how they will turn out. And I bought them because, like I said before, I had a bit of an issue getting the right look for the elephants. I mean, I have only painted one so far in terms of skin tones, and I want to try something different out with it. We will see how that works out. Then I got another bunch of models. When I ordered the V&V miniatures, I got some Balearic slingers. I think the sound must have been awful. I apologize for that. Balearic slingers, very good part for any kind of ancient army, I think, or at least ancient Western army, because they served as mercenaries for a lot of armies, like the Romans, for the Carthaginians, and whoever else was willing to pay for them. And they had a really good reputation. Slingers were very effective in ancient warfare, sometimes more effective than archers, because the technologies for building bows was not that advanced, and slingers could achieve pretty good ranges with especially if they had the right kind of ammunition, because in the ideal case they would use shaped bronze bullets. And obviously for an army of for the Carthaginians, this is a perfect fit. And actually for Saga they work as mercenaries, but if you play any other system, you can just use them as normal troops. And so looking forward to playing them. It's just 12 miniatures, so should be done pretty quickly once I have the time. So another project for next year, and I'm finished with all my other Carthaginians properly. And then finally, as a purchase, I bought this one. This is a rock mold from Woodland Scenics. Woodland Scenics makes quite a few of them, as do some other model railroading companies. And they come at, I think this one came at 12 euros. They have slightly larger ones that come at 18 euros. And I've been looking at maybe building my own silicon forms at some point for a couple of months now, but I decided before I dive deep into it and have to suffer all the typical learning experiences that you have when you try something new out, I just want to have get an idea of what the final product might look like. And so far I did 2 tests, as you can see, because it's already a bit dirty, but it's easy to clean up, so it's not going to stay like this. I was quite happy actually, and I think there are also an option for people who want to introduce some rocks into command bases, for example. For me, this will be mostly to build some cliffs on terrain pieces, so I have a slightly different structure. And I'm aware I could probably achieve a similar effect with cork as well. I might try out both of it and see what I like more. And then finally, something that I didn't have to pay for myself because it was a gift by my wonderful wife. I got this painting lamp actually from Amazon. I think they're fairly widespread nowadays, but I can say I really like it because first of all it's a very stable construction. The arm stays where you place it, so if you move it, it won't snap back and move back like cheaper flexible arms tend to do. And the light it gives is very nice. Like you can switch it between 4 seconds in terms of brightness. And for example, when you're just sitting on the computer and working, you don't need the full power. You just turn it down to lower power. And this, for me, it is really important as well, because this is not just my painting station, but it's also the place where I work when I'm working from home at the home office. The last topic I want to talk about is a book that I'm reading right now, and this is the German version, obviously, a German book. The original title in English is, where is it? Rome Resurgent, War and Empire in the Age of Justinian. The author is Peter Heather, and I haven't read that much, as you can see, but so far I really like it. It's really well written. It gives you a very good in-depth background on what the preconditions for Justinian's successes were as an emperor, because obviously under his rule the borders temporarily expanded and then soon afterwards collapsed to previous size again. And he was obviously very well known also because when he was emperor, Belisarius was one of his major military leaders, or the most important military leader actually. And Belisarius, I guess, was fighting on all fronts really. It's a really fascinating person when you look at that he fought the Sasanians, won a very important victory in the Battle of Dara there. Then he fought the Vandals in North Africa, where he basically destroyed them by while being outnumbered 1-2, 1-3, depending on who you believe in terms of the numbers. And then he fought for a long time in Italy against the Ostrogoths, I believe, and against the Lombards. So, very scary history, and I'm really looking forward to finishing it. Now, while we are talking about Peter Heather, I also can recommend another book. I have to look at what the name of the book was in English again. The original was Empires and Barbarians, and the German cover looks like this. This one I have actually finished reading, and I thoroughly enjoy it because it's very well written, gives you a very good insight in how the different Germanic peoples succeeded or didn't succeed in terms of creating new realms and actually keeping them stable as well, because obviously a lot of them, like the Vangelic Kingdom in Northern Africa, for example, collapsed after a century or sometimes even after a decade. But it's also, in a modern context, very interesting because it looks at how migration works in some ways, especially when you're really taking a huge chunk of your population and go somewhere else. Or whether you're just taking like the warrior class and the rest just stays at home and sits and does nothing. So I would say, given my experience, can completely recommend the author. I think the period is very interesting anyway, because it's one of the very important forming periods for what we know now as Europe. And it gives you a lot of inspirations as well, because there are a lot of smaller things that happen that are not part of what we might see as mainstream history, where you're looking at the big battles and the big events, but there are lots of smaller events as well, like I described in the book, that can give you an idea. Hey, I want to maybe just do something that nobody else has done so far, and maybe, for example, if you're looking at Belisarius, maybe you say, I don't want to do the fight at Gara against the Sasanians, which is, by the way, a fascinating battle to play and two fascinating armies to build, no doubt about it. I mean, I understand everybody who says like this is so colorful, so beautiful, so wonderful armies to build up. But you could also, for example, say, I want to do the fights in North Africa or in Italy, or even his last fights against in Thrace, I think against the Bulgarians, where he fought like with a few hundred men against many thousands and still won the day. So lots of background for that kind of rabbit hole if you want to follow that through. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, consider leaving a like and maybe even a subscription. If you didn't like it, fair enough. But I would be very happy if you gave some feedback in one way or another. Thank you. Goodbye.